Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the live stream Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my very best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about other cryptos in general, and of course, as always, I'm going to move crypto around for you guys so you can see it in action right on my screen. You can follow along, and I'll do my best to take your questions. I would like to point out from the very beginning, if I don't get to your question, don't get mad. Maybe repeat it a few times, and if I don't get to it at all and you really need an answer, please put it down in the comments. I'm also going to throw my email up so that you can send me an email if you're totally stuck. So having said that, let's jump into this thing. All right, guys, welcome. I'm here in the lair with my rig, my Crypto.com shirt. A great partner of mine has been supporting this channel for a couple of years now. I use them on a regular basis. It's been a wonderful, incredible week for Bitcoin. Maybe a letdown for some of you people who are unfamiliar with the fluctuations of the crypto market. We're going to talk about the pullback, I guess, if we want to call it that, and some of the reasons why it happened and some of the controversies that have been going around. I'll try to get you up to speed on what's happening. So let's jump in. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I'm going to go over here to my screen. Now, this is where I perform most of my actions for you guys. You got a little talking head down in the corner. We're going to talk a lot about, we'll talk about the news here, but we'll start with this story. But I would like to welcome everyone, and my phone is in the way over here. I got to get this back up. Got everything situated here. Welcome W, Joanne L. You guys were here early. Kren Vendar, thank you for joining us tonight. Hans Hanka 350, Iron Crypto, message retracted. Shahid Hamid, hello, thanks for coming back again. Shahid, you've been here many times. Scott, of course, one of my favorite repeat viewers who comes here quite often, has been supporting my channel and the live stream for upwards of 2 years, at least 2 years, probably more. Derek is here. Cam is here. It is really live. Yes, we are here. And I'm not going to FUD anybody. I'm not going to FOMO anybody. I kind of give it to you guys straight. Cover the technical end of Bitcoin. A lot of people, want to buy Bitcoin, but they're a little mystified. They don't know what it means to hold it, how it works, or anything like that. So I want to try to take the mystery out of it for you guys. Rick McIntyre, good to have you here. Thank you, sir. Will people sell all crypto during the next bear market to avoid that dead time? Will there be a time that BTC is unavailable to buy back in? I don't know about that. A Bitcoin bull might say there might come a time where it might be prohibitive to purchase Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is dividable. And if Bitcoin is worth, say, $1 million or whatever, we'll be talking in Satoshis, right? You'll be able to buy, I think you can divide Bitcoin up into a millionth, if I'm not mistaken, maybe more. So whether, it will still flow, I believe, even when it's all been mined back and forth, I would assume. There'll always be someone that wants to sell their Bitcoin for something else, I'm assuming. Something of value. Anyway, it's kind of like gold. I mean, it's not like there'll never be any gold available, right? Gold still flows through the economy to a certain extent, in jewelry and that kind of stuff. Johanna, thank you for being here. Anthony, everybody's here. Everybody's saying hello. That's great. No early questions. Let's jump into the news. Institutions keep buying Bitcoin's dip despite near-term volatility. It's based on data. Basically, what we're seeing in this bull run, and I'm going to refer to this period of time in the history of Bitcoin as a bull run. This is, an upwards trajectory. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I could be wrong. As you can see, it is down a little bit today from a few hours back. But I wouldn't call that a bear market. I mean, technically, in market terms, as far as the stock market goes, when the stock market or the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the S&P 500, however you want to measure, the overall market, or even one stock, if it pulls back 20% from its all-time high, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe they call that a bear market. So when Bitcoin goes from like $20,000, I don't know what it was on January 1st, but let's just throw it out there. Let's say it was at 20 grand on January 1st. Maybe it was a little bit higher. If it goes from $20,000 up to $42,000 approximately within the first month of January, right? And then it pulls back 20% back down to 32. I wouldn't characterize that as a bear market in my book, but technically, I guess you could say that. So there are a lot of people piling on Bitcoin because it pulled back, to the low 30s after having shot up, so high. It's expected. But there's a lot of Bitcoin bashers and Bitcoin haters out there, and whenever Bitcoin pulls back, they're giggling and squealing and writing the epitaph for Bitcoin. But anyway, but the institutions are continuing to buy according to data. So what we're seeing here is big institutions getting into Bitcoin. Glassnode is the company, and there are a lot of institutions like MicroStrategy is one of the big ones that's been buying up a lot of Bitcoin. They bought more on the dip. And then there's Grayscale, I think it's called. Grayscale is another big institution that's getting in. And now it's been announced that BlackRock might be getting involved in, or is involved in Bitcoin. Let me see if I can find that. Pooies. Oh, here it is. Yeah. BlackRock has joined the Bitcoin business. The world's largest asset manager has said 2 of its funds can now invest in the cryptocurrency. So we're seeing a lot of big institutional players now. Now, before we get too much further in the news, I would like to point out, if you look down below this video here in the description, you will see a lot of goodies. One of them being links to all of the news stories that I'm covering tonight. I'm going to throw out my email. I think it's the CryptoDad at gmail.com. And we'll talk a little bit about that email tonight, that account. But shoot me an email. I do my best to respond to all my email questions, although I have to use a little bit of filter, right? I can't engage everyone that emails me, but if your question is concise, thoughtful, and clear cut, that I understand what you're trying to ask me, I'll do my best to answer your questions if you email me. But an email that says, "Sir, please help me," I'm not going to respond to that. That's kind of an open-ended thing. I don't want to put anybody down, but a lot of people they want to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, man, I need your help with, I need someone to just walk me through, hold my hand." I don't really have the capacity to do that for everyone. But like I said, I'm very good about responding to good, concise, well-worded questions. You got a problem, throw it out there. Here tonight, we'll see if I can just troubleshoot it on the fly, or shoot me an email, or like I said, down in the comments below, leave me a comment, and I go through my comments for the live stream. I don't know if people don't know that they're down there or they're not accessible during the live stream. I believe they are. I'm going to attempt to leave a comment right
Meet
now,
Chris and Mark,
during the live stream, and see if it works. Because this is a comment. Oh, comment. Hey, all right. So anybody, I don't know. I get a lot of people and they're like, oh, you can't leave comments during the live stream. And I think you can. I could be wrong. Okay, and also there's a lot of affiliate links down here. I really want to answer everybody's questions. Michael, thank you for your question. I'm going to get to it here in a sec. Let's go through these. We got the Ledger Nano affiliate link if you want to get your hands on a Ledger Nano device, which is a private keychain for storing your cryptocurrency wallets, which is a great secure way to store your cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all the big ones, quite a few actually. Crypto.com, which is an iOS-based cryptocurrency exchange that you can play with right on your phone. Buy and sell crypto, store crypto, stake crypto. They have a Visa, MCO Visa card that you can use to spend your crypto in the real world. It's great. You can top up your card with your crypto gains whenever you feel like it. If you've got, some extra Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or whatever you got, you just liquidate it, put it on the card, and run into a store and buy that new, toaster you had your eye on or whatever. It's great stuff. We got the Trezor affiliate link down here. Coinbase affiliate link if you want to sign up for Coinbase. I'm going to jump on Coinbase and buy a little Bitcoin in a minute. We got the Kraken affiliate link if you want to sign up for a Kraken account. I think I'll sign into Kraken tonight, show you how to fund an account. Binance US, another great cryptocurrency exchange where you can buy crypto. In fact, all three of these have websites and apps. So if you prefer to work from your phone, you can sign up for their service and use their app. That's pretty cool. And the Brave browser, which is my browser of choice. All right, so before we continue on with the news, I am going to answer Michael because he was kind enough to leave a tip. I sent 4 BTC from Ledger Nano X using an 87-cent custom fee, been stuck unconfirmed for 20 hours. Tried fee accelerators, but no luck. Any ideas? I don't believe there's much you can do once you have sent the transaction away. I'll talk a little bit about Ledger Live tonight. I know I did a video a few years back about canceling an Ethereum transaction, but I don't believe Bitcoin works like that. With the Ethereum, you send another nil transaction or something like that, and then somehow it cancels it. But I don't believe you can do that with Bitcoin once you have sent it out onto the blockchain. My advice, it should eventually get mined. What's going on here is the Bitcoin blockchain transactions get queued up, and then Bitcoin miners come along and grab transactions that are waiting to be processed while they're mining their Bitcoin, and that brings all of these transactions into a block. And when the nonce is found, or the Bitcoin gets mined, they're rewarded with some Bitcoin, and they get the next block, right? And then they get all the transactions that they have mined get processed and added to the Bitcoin blockchain, and then get processed. So if you have engineered a low fee, then your transaction is low priority for miners. If you had 4 Bitcoin, I don't know why you were worried about a fee. I would have just there's a little slider when you're in Ledger Live when you're sending Bitcoin out, and you can send it as high as you want. Maybe spend $20 on that Bitcoin to make sure it goes through. But, you know, everybody's different in the way they view the fees, right? A lot of people are very frugal when it comes to fees. But my thing is, if, you know, you're risking your, I don't know, 4 Bitcoin. I don't know if are you all above board or not? I mean, if you got 4 Bitcoin, you should go hire someone. Instead of coming to me for, you know, I'm just some dude. But anyway, no, I don't believe there's any way to take back the transaction after you've sent it. But it will get mined eventually, hopefully, right? Could be a while, right? Sorry I wasn't more helpful on that. Let's go to the next news story. Let's see what we got here. The Bitcoin double spend that never happened. There was a lot of talk, and here I go, out of blur again. Ugh, seriously. Sorry about... Ugh. Okay. Come on, God. Don't do this to me now. Please? Please? Don't do this. Okay. There we go. All right. So there was a lot of controversy about this Bitcoin double spend. Bitcoin pulled back. I don't know. Sunday, was it? No. I think it was Tuesday. Tuesday night, there was a pullback, or a little before that, and a lot of people were blaming the news story about this double spend that was published by... Who published it? I don't think this article says it. But somebody published an article claiming that there was a Bitcoin double spend, trying to scare everybody, saying that Bitcoin was broken, you know, and that Bitcoin was going to zero and all this other FUD. I'm sure they got their share of clicks, so I'm sure they got what they needed out of it, right? What's that from Matthew? Those who pray in the temples and blow their trumpets in the synagogues, they have their reward, right? That's what, you know, when you pray in secret. So that's what, you know, when these guys come out here screaming all this bad news and they get all these clicks, they're happy, right? They got paid, right? They got all that ad revenue because all these desperate Bitcoiners clicked on their FUD. They're happy, right? So what are you going to do about it, right? You're going to stay calm, and you're going to you know, have faith in the Bitcoin blockchain. And so this story basically just talks about how what occurred was not a double spend. For those of you who may not be aware, Bitcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency that is not that is peer-to-peer, and it's run kind of as a community. We talked a little bit earlier about miners, people mining Bitcoin. And blocks are formed on this immutable blockchain. And once a block is formed, and it gets added to the blockchain, right? And then you can't go back and change transactions. Well, it's not quite that simple. There's a process. Sometimes there can be competing blockchains, right? There are blocks, pardon me. There can be 2 blocks that are in competition to be the official block, right? And so there's some contention in the network. But it always gets resolved. There's a mechanism to resolve that sort of thing. Sometimes 2 miners mine the same block or whatever, but it gets resolved. It's built into the system. And so this occurrence that looked like a double spend, and it was only $21 worth, was not a real double spend. So I invite you, like I said, down in the description below, to read these articles at your leisure so that you can get a clearer understanding of what went on here. But, you know, the FUD was there was a double spend, the price went down, and then a lot of people cried foul and came back and said, no, this is not a double spend, and this is a very good, concise article that explains exactly what happened. All right. And then a lot of other people were saying it was just a market pullback, a technical pullback from, you know, a high. It really had nothing to do with this article that came out. So, we all know, if we're rational human beings, that correlation does not prove causation. Just because two things happen at the same time does not always mean that one or the other was caused by the other, right? A dog barks and I drop my ice cream cone. I could blame the dog, but I might have, been dropping the ice cream cone before the dog even barked. That is it's a human fallacy, though, to do that. We tend to, when two things are correlated, we tend to give them causation, even though it's not true. Anyway, let's move on to the next story here. I wanted to talk a little bit about, let's talk about this. This is more of market stuff. The race is on yet again for crypto ETFs as VALKYRIE files another registration for a Bitcoin ETF. For those of you who've been around since 2017, there was a lot of talk about Bitcoin ETFs, which mean exchange traded funds, which basically just means that people can bet on the price of Bitcoin without actually having to buy Bitcoin. And ETFs have been around for many years, and people use them for commodities and all that sort of thing. So if you want to bet on the price of soybeans or frozen concentrated orange juice, you don't actually have to buy it or take delivery. You can simply buy a contract and sell the contract when it goes up, however that works, right? It's all market stuff, right? But they've been trying since 2017 to get an ETF for Bitcoin approved, and the SEC has always rejected them. I think that there were a total of 9 filed with the SEC, Van Eck being one of them, and Gemini, the Winklevoss twins. They were all rejected by the SEC, and it sort of went away for a while. But now we're back in another bull market, and there are new firms that are applying for these new ETFs. The article states that it's the chance of it being approved is fairly slim, but there are, and then there's another firm. What was I looking at? VALKYRIE is the one we're talking about, but then there's another firm here, Van Eck, who they're applying for a digital assets ETF, which is not directly related to the price of Bitcoin, but more to the global digital assets equity index. Companies that are involved in blockchain, they have to meet certain criteria to be in this fund, and it more or less follows the price of Bitcoin up and down, but it's more based on the industry. And then, of course, there are ETFs in other countries that are already up and running, right? It's just in the US we haven't had any yet, but the rush is back on again, right? So we'll see what happens. It will be good news for Bitcoin, but for those of us who were around in 2017 and 2018, it almost got old. I mean, it was always, another firm has applied for an ETF, and then the SEC, there was a deadline, and everybody was crossing their fingers, and the price was going up, and then they got denied by the SEC, and the market would crash again, and and then people would get their hopes up again when some new company applied for an ETF, and then the SEC would deny it again, and the price of Bitcoin would drop. I mean, it just got old, and it got to the point where Bitcoin just stopped reacting to these, these ETF applications and rejections, right? But if one gets approved, it will probably be a good pop for the market when that does happen. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about. I wanted to talk about this story about Iran and some of the things that have been going on there in Iran. If you're not aware, of course, Iran is not on the good side of the powers that be in the U.S., right? They're a rival, and the U.S. has put sanctions on them. And I'm not going to say whether that's right or wrong. It's just a fact of life, right? And we've got this country that is struggling under these U.S. sanctions, and part of what they're doing to try to get around some of these sanctions is mining Bitcoin. And so they have a pretty good Bitcoin mining industry, some government approved, and they also have pretty cheap power, I guess. But it's also not your top tier power grid, right? Basically what is going on is that the story is that they cracked down on a bunch of illegal miners who were being blamed for blackouts, rolling brownouts and blackouts and that sort of thing. But when we kind of look a little deeper in this, yeah, they did shut down these illegal farms, and that's going to happen, I guess, when the currency is basically in a free fall. So of course there's gonna there's always going to be people that are trying to take shortcuts, right? And then also the story points out that the infrastructure of the power grid in Iran is pretty poor, and the government might just be blaming these illegal Bitcoin miners for their problems, right? But overall, I believe this does not mean that Iran is not going to be mining Bitcoin, right? I think what this means is that I don't think it means that, right? Bitcoin will still be mined in Iran, and I think they'll still try to use Bitcoin to circumvent U.S. sanctions and maybe try to sell their oil for Bitcoin or buy things with Bitcoin so that they don't have to deal in U.S. dollars. So I think overall that, it's a good illustration of how Bitcoin can work to outside the traditional centralized financial system, right? And they are having some problems. We don't know how big these problems are. We're in the U.S. Everything that we read about in the U.S. about what goes on in other countries is filtered through our media, and that's but an interesting story, right? And then I wanted to talk a little bit about ETFs. I think, did I talk? Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Bitcoin keys in a minute. We'll talk about Bitcoin. So ultra rare alien cyberpunk NFT sells for 605 Ethereum or $750,000. For those of you who are not aware, NFT stands for non-fungible token. A fungible token is a token that is interchangeable with any other token, like a dollar. If I got $1 and you got $1, we'll trade them, right? There's no advantage of my dollar over yours, unless whatever you happen to have a U.S. dollar from the 1800s, right? A rare dollar bill might be more than a regular dollar bill, right? But as dollar bills go, just dollar bills in circulation, one as good as another, right? But an NFT is unique in that it's a one-of-a-kind kind of thing, or at least a one-in-a-series kind of thing, a piece of digital art or a digital collectible. And in this case, this is a cyberpunk, which were around before CryptoKitties. And I guess this is it, right? But it's rare. Apparently, there are only 9 of them, if I read the story correctly, of these early CryptoPunks, right? So I just wanted to point that out, that this is just a really interesting sector in cryptocurrencies are the NFTs. If you're not aware of NFTs, you should be, right? There are a lot of ways you can get in kind of on the ground floor with NFTs by, getting involved in some of these governance tokens for NFT, like Engine Coin is a governance token for NFT, and I'll show you. I've got an NFT that I bought on Engine Coins, but I kind of wanted to show you this too. If you're not aware of this meme, after he bought the after he won the bid, he posted this on his Twitter. when he bought that. That's kind of funny. All right. So, but before we get into NFTs, I am going to talk a little bit about what NFTs are. I did want to talk about private keys. A private key is part of the Bitcoin wallet that is the secret part. In essence, in its very essence, the private key is a really long number. That's really all it is. And then from that private key, we can generate a public key cryptographically. And that's just another number. Or it's not really a number. It is a number, but it's a weird formatted number. It's not just digits. There's letters in there too. So it looks kind of strange to our eyes. But it's a kind of formatting of the base code of the number system, right? We use base 10 because we have 10 fingers. But there are a lot of numerical systems out there. I believe Bitcoin addresses are base 58. But they're basically really long numbers, right? And we were talking a little bit last week about revealing your public key when you send Bitcoin. We'll go into that. We'll visit that a little more. But I just wanted to talk about, this article talks about how you secure your private key. Now there's two private keys. When you create a Bitcoin wallet, you're going to, or initialize it, they're going to give you a backup phrase. In essence, that backup phrase, which can be 12 or 24 words, sometimes other links, is your private key. It's in human readable format. So let's see here. BIP 39 word list. All right. Yeah. Okay, so we have this huge list of words, and I don't know, there's 2,048 words. So basically when a private key is created, it looks up all these words in a table. It takes that huge number and it divides it into chunks, right? And then each chunk of that number looks up a word in the table, and then they give you those 12 or 24 words. Those words are your private key. A lot of people are a little mystified when they get to that. So the article talks about a good place to store your backup phrase, because anybody that gets a hold of that backup phrase has access to your wallet. They can simply do a restore and get your wallet and access to your funds. I know that sounds strange too, but it's true. Don't give anybody that number. But there are some interesting ways. Now, let's say, okay, you have your piece of paper, you wrote down your 24 words or your 12 words or whatever, and now you want to hide it somewhere. But where are we going to hide this piece of paper so that nobody finds it? Well, okay, here's bad hiding places, right? Kitchen food packages at the back of a drawer, right? At the back of your sock drawer, under the doormat, inside a fake plant, at the back of the wardrobe, in a cheap safe. Inside a coat pocket in your, these all, to me, these are like, oh, you know what? I think I'll hide it here, And we all think we're so original, but we're not really. So when people come into your house to steal and ransack while you're on vacation or you're at work or whatever they do, they're looking for valuables and they want to get what they can quick and get out. So they're going to check all these places, right? Behind the television, in the toilet cistern, right? So we really don't want to hide our piece of paper anywhere obvious, right? And we also would want to have multiple copies of this passphrase, right? In case of fires or floods, right? Maybe keep a copy down at the bank in a safe deposit box. Maybe give a copy to your sister, someone you can trust, or your mother or your brother, whoever. So that it's in multiple locations in case something happens, right? But here are some cool ways to hide it, right? Under a floorboard, screwed down, right? Not a loose floorboard, right? One that's screwed down with carpet over it. That was really hard for you to get access to. Then it's going to be really hard for a thief to get access to. Behind the wallpaper, that's pretty cool. Inside a wall cavity, behind a kitchen unit, under the counter, maybe You know, if you have to move the whole fridge out of the way to get access to, you know, pull up the floor and stick your, you know, you're in a probably in a waterproof baggie, your little paper, and it's going to be a real hassle for you to pull that refrigerator out and get under there. It's probably going to be the same for a thief, right? A thief isn't going to come ransack your house and start trying to pull your refrigerator out and look under there, unless he's like very determined, right? Or buried deep in your garden, right? Next to the bodies, right? But there are some other cool ways to store 24-word recovery phrases. And I've got a couple here I just wanted to show you guys, if you don't mind, before I jump into questions. All right, so I've got this little beauty here. And what this is you can't really see it very well. Yeah, it's a bunch of little metal letters. And you use those metal letters. I've got a couple of these. If I can get it out. Let's hope I can get it out. All right. This one is from Elipal. Right? This is a hardware wallet for storing your seed phrase, right? It has no other functionality, right? It doesn't, I mean, the wallet software that you use on your computer is how you actually store the Bitcoin. But this is the little beauty where you actually put, and these are not a real phrase. So don't freak out and go, oh my God, he's revealing his phrase, right? This is just an example phrase. Now, interestingly enough, notice that it only has 4 letters, right? Why would that be? Look at these words. They're longer than 4 letters. So why would it only be 4 letters in here? Well, the reason why is because it only takes 4 letters to give us our unique word in the table. You'll notice that any letter past 4 is different. All right, so there are no letters that have 4 letters and then beyond that. Right? So 4 letters is really all you need for the computer to know what word it is in this table, right? It's number 58 in the word list, right? So that's why these hardware wallets only have 4 letters. Now, it might be kind of weird for you, but, and you might need to even look it up in the table. And then I've got another one over here from, who is this one by? This is Kobo. Kobo makes one. This is the Kobo version. It's upside down here. All right. And this one, it's kind of like a credit card here. All right. Pretty cool. Right. You'll notice that it only has 4 letters each, and that, you know, it'll hold a 20. The 24 is empty, or I mean the last half is empty. But this is a 12-word phrase, right? Right. So, and then, of course, the advantage to one like this is it's waterproof, fireproof, and you would need to hide this in a safe place as well, probably. And then last one I'll show you guys, and I've done some videos on all 3 of these actually, but this one I think is pretty cool. It's metal, and it's got like a little notch here for a lanyard or, you know, a key ring or whatever, and you basically unscrew it, and this one's a little I kind of, it's a little difficult to deal with, but and it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but each one of these metal pieces is a letter. So each letter, as I can pull them off here, I can see the letters, right? So you have to be very careful with this thing. You don't want to spill it, right? But you put the letters on, and you'll notice there's a metal divider between each word, and you could spell out the entire word with this one, right? Because it's up to you how many letters of the word you want to put on. And then it's got this little catch on the end of it, so that everything doesn't fall off, and then you can put it in this little guy here and just screw them shut, and you're cool. But I wanted to talk about that because, I don't know, cryptocurrency wallets are a little mystical. People are mystified by them, but you shouldn't be. And you have to realize that your recovery phrase is your private key. It is your wallet, right? Now, the functional private key is built into the wallet, right? It's built into the software, all right? All right, so I would like to talk a little bit about Ledger Live. Ledger Live is the software that you can use with your Ledger Nano device, right? Now, the private key of this guy is you cannot see it. It's stored in the hardware. The only thing you can see is that 24-word backup. And I get a lot of questions about that. They go, oh, how can I see my private key? And I say, why do you want to see your private key? It's like, if you know it's in there, but people worry, you know, when they got a lot of crypto. But basically, I'll say you don't need to see the long number that's stored in here. What you need to see is that 24-word recovery phrase and keep it in a safe place. All right. But I wanted to go through a little bit about how you approach Ledger Live, right? So a lot of people have issues with their device and with Ledger Live. So the first thing you should do when you launch Ledger Live is make sure that your software is up to date, right? If you go to Portfolio and you see a blue band at the top that says there's an update available, then you should run that and keep this software up to date. You can check over here in About, and it'll tell you what version you're running, 2.2.0. I had someone in the live stream last night that kept complaining over and over again that every time he installed Ledger Live, nothing happened or something of that nature, and he wanted help. That was not a problem with Ledger Live. If every time someone installed Ledger Live, nothing happened, there would be people, you know, screaming in the streets, shaking their fists with pitchforks and torches, right? So that is not a problem with Ledger Live. It was obviously a problem with his computer. If you try to install software and it doesn't work, look to your own environment first. I mean, there is troubleshooting, and we gave him a lot of suggestions. We said, do a clean install. We said a lot of things to him, and he kept saying, no, it's not working. I've done all that. And that's very common when I'm dealing in tech support. When people call me with issues, they'll say, I have a problem. And I'll say, well, why don't you try this? Like, well, I did that. I'll go, well, why don't you try that? I'll say, I've already done all that. I've done all that. Well, give me an answer. Like, stay calm. And maybe try installing Ledger Live on another device and see if that works. And if that does work, then you know right away that it's your computer. That maybe you need to update your Windows. Maybe you need to reformat your hard drive and reload all your software. And, you know, do a clean install of Windows. Maybe you've been using the same gummed up system for 8 years now, and it's limping along. You know, you can browse the web on it, right? You can check your email in Chrome, but when you try to install software like Ledger Live and nothing happens, it's probably something wrong with your computer. Okay, so first we make sure that Ledger Live is up to date, and then we need to go over to the manager. We connect our device, and we enter our PIN. All right, and then we, when we get to that window where we're at the home screen, we need to hit both buttons. Oh, is it going to do it or not? Sometimes it doesn't cooperate with me either, right? All right, that's okay. It's still telling me to launch Ledger Live. That's kind of weird. Okay. Allow Ledger Manager on the device. It's telling me that, but it's not giving me the Allow Ledger Manager Yeah. Let's try again. Okay. All right. He wants to embarrass me in front of my friends. I can't believe it. All right. So I'm going to disconnect it, and I'm going to try again, right? I'm not going to scream bloody murder and throw it against the wall or call Ledger. I'm going to disconnect it and try again, right? Both buttons. All right. Now I'm going to enter my PIN again, calmly and coolly. All right, now I'm at the home screen again. Let's switch over to Manager. In fact, let's turn on this secondary camera here. And it's still not doing it, is it? Well. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. I have another device attached. I had this one attached earlier, and I forgot to disconnect it. Disconnect that one. And let's see what's going to happen now. I'm probably going to have to start over. That's okay. See, there's always a solution for everything. Now, I don't know that everybody has more than one device. I'm going to go back to accounts, but I do. I have I was doing some stuff with one of my other devices earlier and forgot that it was attached to the computer using a different cable. And so I just disconnected it. Now I'm going to re-enter my PIN here. Alrighty, we're back at the home screen on this guy. And we'll go over here. And there we go. All right. See, no reason to get upset. So I'm live. Okay, so I'm going to hit both buttons here. All right. So we talked about what do we do when we first launch Ledger, right? We make sure that the Ledger Live software is up to date. And then we go over here and make sure that our firmware is up to date. How do we know that the firmware is up to date? Because it's not telling me there's a new firmware update available, right? If this firmware was out of date, I would get a message up here where it says firmware, and it would say you need to run the firmware update, right? You need to make sure your firmware is up to date. And then another thing that you need to check is your app catalog. You might see down here several apps that need to be updated, usually one or two, sometimes three or four. And that is separate from Ledger Live software being updated and your firmware being updated. Sometimes the developers for the different cryptocurrency submit updates to their apps. And so when you go over to Manager, you will check not only your firmware, but also whether you have any apps that need to be updated. I'm sure you guys have seen that. So you need to do this periodically, right? We're all adults here. I know it's mystifying and complicated, but if you want to be involved in something like cryptocurrency on the ground floor, you need to take the time and effort to deal with this, right? So make sure your Ledger Live is up to date, make sure your firmware is up to date, and make sure all of your apps are up to date. And do this periodically. I hear so many sob stories about people that left their Ledger in the drawer for 3 years, and now when they pull it out, it won't update because the Ledger Live software is too far along now, right? And this is, I mean, we're in the 21st century now. If you try to go to a modern day website using a 15-year-old computer running an old OS like Windows 95, it's not going to pull up that web page. It's going to go something like, the version of the browser that you're using is too old for this web page. You need to update your browser. And then you'll go to your browser and try to update it, and it'll say, the latest version of this browser is not compatible with your operating system. You need to update your operating system. And then you go to update your operating system and it says, the current operating system for this computer is not compatible with your hardware. You know, that's the fact of life in technology. You have to stay up to date. So please, guys, I gave you some easy tips on how to keep your ledger up to date. I'm going to look at some questions here. Oh my God, I've been babbling all night, haven't I? I wanted to talk a little bit about the Bitcoin wallet that we were talking about last week. Sorry about Michael. I would say, Michael, please be patient. That transaction should go through. Gladiator, Rex, regarding quantum computing and moving BTC to a brand new wallet. How can that be safe from Q computing? That wallet is in the ledger and its public key can easily be tracked down! Exclamation point. Okay, cool. Someone is challenging me on this. If you go to last week's live stream, you'll see that I was not a raving, babbling idiot, that I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So let's visit that. All right, so your question, your statement there, that wallet is in the ledger and its public key can easily be tracked down. Can it now? So explain to me how that public key can easily be tracked down. It can't. Let me show you this chart one more time before we go to the specifics. Boop-a-doop-a-doo, if I can find it. I think it's in this browser. Okay. This is how Bitcoin wallets and addresses work. They're based on elliptic curve multiplication. And try not to get too bored with this. But people are contradicting me, so I want to explain it so people understand. There is a private key. That is the base of the wallet. That is the secret part of the wallet. That key is randomly generated, right? Elliptical curve multiplication is used to derive the public key. The public key is this big K, right? Now, that public key is part of the public-private key cryptography, which was developed in the 70s, right? I won't go into that too much. From that public key, a Bitcoin address is derived. Now, what people are getting confused, and I don't mean to put you down, Gladiator, but the public key is not the Bitcoin address. So if I open a wallet, create an empty wallet, and generate a Bitcoin address and send some Bitcoin into that wallet, I have not revealed that public key. I think that's what everyone has been telling me. They're going, oh, no. As soon as you create the wallet and put Bitcoin in there, it's all public now. It is not, right? The only thing that is public, if you want to call it that, is a singular Bitcoin address, not the public key. And notice this little black arrow with the stop sign through it. It means it is cryptographically impossible to derive the public key from a single Bitcoin address. Unless we're talking about quantum computing, then maybe, right? But that's a big, big maybe. What I'm talking about is creating a Bitcoin wallet that has not revealed its public key. Okay, you may say, all right, I have created an empty Bitcoin wallet and revealed a Bitcoin address to the world, and now a quantum computer could hack this Bitcoin address and find the public key, however long that takes. Then they can hack the public key and go backwards to the private key, right? But if you send Bitcoin out from the wallet, then you are explicitly revealing the public key and making this part trivial, right? He doesn't need to do this part. Why make it easier on your adversary or your hypothetical quantum computer by revealing your public key when you can make it much more more difficult by only revealing a Bitcoin address? And we're talking about things that are impossible anyway, right? So everyone's getting up in arms because I'm telling you that you should store Bitcoin in a wallet that only receives. and not in a wallet that goes back and forth, because by going back and forth, you reveal your public key. And then you're all like, oh, well, everybody knows your public key anyway. They don't. Not unless you send Bitcoin out. Then your public key is revealed. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. And I'm sure like half the people have already gone to bed. They're like, is there anything good on Amazon Prime? Because I don't understand a word this guy's saying. All right, so let's go over to a Bitcoin wallet right here, Bitcoin main. Notice the history of this wallet. Mostly receives, right? But there is one outgoing transaction. That outgoing transaction was signed by the public key, and now the public key is now public. It has now been shown on the blockchain, and a hypothetical quantum computer might grab a hold of my public key and make short order of somehow doing the impossible by cracking my public key to reveal my private key. What I'm saying is, why make that so easy? Every time you send Bitcoin out from a wallet, you should create a new empty wallet and put your Bitcoin in there so that it's a one-way wallet. Let's add another account and call it Bitcoin. All right? So we're going to... It wants me... This stupid thing is in my way. Sorry, guys. Why is it moving? Okay, there we go. All right, it wants me to open the Bitcoin app. What it's doing is scanning my device for any existing Bitcoin wallets. All right? And it's going to find some. There are three here that are dim, which means they're already in Ledger Live. Right? So I don't need to add those. It's offering me the choice of two empty wallets. There are two different types of wallets that the Ledger Live will offer you. One is native SegWit and the other is SegWit. SegWit is the older format, but some cryptocurrency exchanges don't support native SegWit yet. So it's good to have a regular SegWit wallet. I already have one down here, right? I don't need to add a new one. But I am going to add a new Bitcoin wallet. They call them accounts, but they're effectively Bitcoin wallets. Let's hit add account. We'll hit done. All right, now I've created an empty Bitcoin wallet. What did I thought I called it new, right? Is that it? Just like try not to get confused. Got so many of them here. All right, we're going to do a receive. We're going to get a Bitcoin address. Right? Notice it's showing up on the device, and it's showing up over here. I'm going to copy that into my clipboard. This is not the public key. It is not the public key. It is a Bitcoin address, one of many that this wallet is capable of generating. All right, let's go over here. Let's approve that. Let's hit this done. Let's go over to accounts. Let's go over to the main Bitcoin. Let's hit send. Let's paste in the address of that brand new wallet. Let's send it all. We'll hit continue. Continue once more. Now we're going to need to sign the outgoing transaction. All right, it says review output on my device. Let's hit review. There's the amount. There's the address. I'll hit accept. And then I'm going to confirm the fee on the Bitcoin blockchain, which is very small. That's a default. I think you could, I don't know that you can adjust it in Ledger Live. I don't know how you managed to get that custom fee that I think Michael was talking about earlier. Maybe I glossed over that one step. All right. Now, this wallet should be empty now. All right. And now, where is that new guy? This is live, folks. Okay, any day now. What? Ugh, are you kidding me? Oh, it's a different wallet. What did I just do? Did I do the wrong thing? Oh, this is it. Ah, okay. It shot to the top because it's sorted by highest balance, I think. Something like that. Notice this wallet. Completely send free. I have not sent any Bitcoin out of this wallet and thus revealed my public key. Private key is private, right? So what we're trying to avoid is exposing that public key to the Bitcoin blockchain, because theoretically, a quantum computer, which don't exist yet, or some, but they don't exist in the form that is have the ability to crack the Bitcoin cryptography yet, right? This is just theory we're talking about. But if I had a wallet that had outgoing transactions, the public key would be exposed. You have to sign outgoing transactions with the public key. The only thing that has been exposed is a Bitcoin address. Notice I have to do two impossible things to get the private key. So yes, I am revealing a Bitcoin address, but I am not revealing the public key. Why make it easier on an attacker? Make it harder. Always store your Bitcoin in one-way wallets that have never sent out. If you have Bitcoin stored in a wallet and then you need to send some out somewhere, then create a new wallet and transfer your Bitcoin in there. I don't know why that generated so much controversy when I talked about that last week. But anyway, I'm glad that question came up. All right, let's move on with our lives here. Howdy from Idaho, Grand Illusions here. Michael, it will take 1 to 3 days based on your fee and current mempool. Be patient. Good. Yes, Michael. Comments not showing up for me. I think they will show up after live stream. Okay, so Michael, I guess I'm the only one that can put comments in there because I just went to my YouTube page. I'm not, pardon me.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's do that. Let's do this. Copy. Let's go over to Brave. Let's paste in the address of that YouTube video. I guess, okay, that is me. And, okay, well, maybe I'm the only one that can comment. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. And now I understand. I guess people that are watching the live stream don't want to wait around until it's over to post a comment. I get it. So, but I shot my email up there in the chat window early on if you guys want to shoot an email and you're frustrated. Why isn't DOT on Coinbase yet? I don't know. DOT's a pretty popular coin right now. We can buy some on Kraken. I can show you how to do that. I bought a large amount of ETH back in 2020 when it was around 230 after the dip. I'm interested in buying another large amount now when ETH is 1250. Do you think it's a good hodl even now at 1250? I'm not really an investment guy. But I do have an opinion. I like Ethereum. It is an improvement upon Bitcoin in the sense that it does more. It's not just a currency. It's an ecosystem, a virtual machine that can run apps, decentralized apps, and smart contract, and host coins, and do all kinds of incredible things that Bitcoin cannot, right? Let's go to, sorry guys. Turn this thing off. Let's go over to Coin Market Cap and take a look. Well, Ethereum's number 2, right? So I would say, I believe that it's never a bad time to buy Ethereum, right? There may be, like, it's better to maybe buy it on a dip or whatever, but in the long run, it looks to be a very solid coin. You can't really go wrong with Ethereum. Although, and I will state this, there are a lot of projects, DeFi, finance, all kinds of stuff that are being built on the Ethereum blockchain. But right now, currently, the Ethereum blockchain is overloaded and it needs to be scaled. They are working on that, right? But right now, fees on the Ethereum network are very high. I like DeFi, but I tend to shy away from Uniswap because the fees are so high and it takes so long for transactions to go through. I'm a very impatient guy. The Ethereum network is overloaded right now, and rightly so, right? So you're out on a Saturday night pre-lockdown, right? You want to go out to have a nice dinner, and you're driving down Main Street, and you see two restaurants. One is empty, right? Half full, so let's just say. And then there's another restaurant with a line out the door. Which restaurant do you think's better? Probably the one with the line out the door, right? Everybody wants to get in, right? So that's kind of where we are with Ethereum right now. Everybody's using it. It's a little bit overloaded, and the fees are really high. So you're trying to get on the ground floor on some new coin you heard about. You did your research, and you go on Uniswap, and you're trying to buy $3,000 worth of this coin or whatever, and the transaction fee in Ethereum gas is like $50 or $100 or whatever it is. That's pretty steep, right? Or let's say you've only got $100 and you're trying to buy $100 worth of a coin, and then your Ethereum fee is $30. You got to spend $30 in Ethereum just to make that swap. That's the only thing I don't like about Ethereum. All right, so there's my opinion on Ethereum. It was a mistake. I screwed. Oh, don't worry about it, Michael. We all make mistakes, man. Can I tell you some of my mistakes? I once tried to use CoinSwap Pro, and I was supposed to be sending Binance coin, and it was like $300-400 worth of Binance coin, and I made a typo on the memo field. The memo field is very important. You got the address in the memo field, and I made a typo on the memo field and lost like $300 worth of Binance coin because of a typo, right? In my early days on my YouTube channel, I was explaining how to use the Electrum Bitcoin wallet, and I totally exposed my private key in the video. And I told myself, it's okay. I'm not planning on putting any Bitcoin in there, so it's fine. And then later, I moved some Bitcoin in there to that wallet, forgetting that I had exposed the private key. And within about 3 minutes, I saw the Bitcoin leave. So someone had noted that passphrase that I had exposed in my YouTube video and put it in some kind of bot, just waiting for any Bitcoin to come into that wallet. And as soon as the Bitcoin came into the wallet, it got transferred out to somebody else's wallet because they had my passphrase, right? The private key. They had control of that wallet. And I was dumb enough to send some Bitcoin in there because I'm an absent-minded kind of guy. Luckily for me, it was only $50 worth of Bitcoin. But we all do that kind of stuff, right? So live and learn. If in the UK we called someone a nonce, it has a different meaning. Nonce is like a term in cryptography. Come on, please. I don't know what's up with the camera tonight. It's just really not cooperating with me. Okay. Wow. All right. This advanced feature for Bitcoin and its derivatives known as replace fee. This allows you to cancel a transaction that got stuck due to having set very low fees. I've never heard of that. You might want to double check on that. All right. Let's just do I'm not sure. I've never tried that before, but it's similar to what I was talking about with the Ethereum. You could do that with an Ethereum transaction using MyEther wallet. I put a link to this. So that might help, but I think someone else pointed out that your transaction will most likely be mined sooner or later, right? Rex, will you please tell me how to cash out BTC? I mean some card option, not exchange to bank withdrawal. Please tell me how to cash out BTC. I mean with some card option, not exchange to bank withdrawal. Oh, okay. There's a couple of ways to cash out Bitcoin. One of them is to move it to a cryptocurrency exchange and convert it or trade it for cash, and then do a withdrawal from your cryptocurrency exchange. Most cryptocurrency exchange have cash accounts that allow you to withdraw from your cash account, and it could be you can sell into that from most coins, right? Ethereum, you sell your Ethereum for cash, your Bitcoin for cash. You have like a cash balance in your cryptocurrency exchange, and then you can withdraw to your bank. You just have to connect your bank account. Now, the cryptocurrency exchange, Crypto.com, has a card that is tied to your account. So, in other words, if I go into my Crypto.com account, and I have some, and Bitcoin's what, 32 right now? 32,157, not too horrible. I don't believe I can do it with, you can't do it directly with CRO. You have to sell the CRO for something else. But when you go down to the card function down there in the corner, I'm not prepared to do this right now. I'm waiting for that crypto balance, that CRO balance, to get a little bigger before I trade it for something else, because there are minimums and that kind of thing. But notice here that I can top up the card by hitting that, and I can use Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Stellar, EOS, TrueUSD, or Paxos Standard to top up the card. So if I had a balance of any of those cryptocurrencies, and I believe the minimum is, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe it's a little bit higher than that, to do a top up, I can top up my card so that there is a balance on my card. Notice right now it's 58.40. That means that I can go into a grocery store and use this to buy my groceries, if my groceries are less than 58 bucks, right? And if I had Bitcoin in my cryptocurrency exchange on Crypto.com at any given time, I could simply top up using Bitcoin, right? So if I hit top up, you'll notice there, if I had a balance of Bitcoin, I could hit like $100 worth of Bitcoin. If I had 0.003 Bitcoin, I could top up the card $100. What it would do would sell the Bitcoin and add it to the balance of the card, and then I could spend that money right away. I've done this before in line at the grocery store, or the Meijer or whatever. I'm standing in line and I see the cashier ringing up my order, and it's like $300, and I go, oh wait a minute, the card needs a little extra on there. I'll just top it up right in line, sell my Bitcoin for cash, top it up on my card, and then use the card. I can also take this card to an ATM machine and get cold hard cash if I want to do that as well. There's usually a non-bank ATM charge. Like if I go to a Chase bank, it'll charge me $3 because this is not a Chase card, or a Wells Fargo card or whatever. You're gonna get that $3, but that's Bitcoin to cash in minutes, right? And there are a lot of other companies that have cards like this. Crypterium, which is not available in the U.S., but will be. I believe you can get those in Europe, Asia, I believe. You've got the Binance Swipe card. That's another card that's tied to your cryptocurrency app, where you can sell crypto and cash out with your card. So that would be, and then you could just, if you have somebody that you trust that has a Bitcoin wallet, that'd be willing to give you cash for Bitcoin, you can send them Bitcoin. You can say, okay, I need $100 quick. I'll give you, 0.001 Bitcoin, whatever, 100 something bucks worth of Bitcoin. And if you trust them and they trust you, just give them the Bitcoin. I just remember there was a news story about some guy that got robbed because I don't know, he had like, it was some unholy amount of Bitcoin, like $500,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? And he wanted to trade it for cash. So he meets these guys, he gets into their car, they show him this briefcase full of money, and then he transfers Bitcoin to them, wallet to wallet, and then they like kick him out of the car. I mean, come on. It's got to be somebody you trust. Okay, I don't know what YFI is doing next. I wish I did. If I did, I'd be rich, but I don't. I have opinions, but they're not that great. If you're having trouble with a wallet or something, I'm the guy to ask. If you want to know what's the next hot coin, maybe CryptoLark is a better choice. And I've got a link up in the corner there to the CryptoLark's page. He talks about what coins are hot, what coins are not, the market, that kind of thing. I'm more technical support. Why is DOT blowing up? It's a good coin, good ecosystem. It's an alternative to Ethereum. Technically, I understand that. So I would say that that's one of the reasons that the coin is doing well market-wise right now. It is an Ethereum alternative by a guy named Gavin. I can't remember his last name, but he worked on the Ethereum project. Smart guy, right? A lot of people involved in the Polkadot project. Let's see, more questions. Bitcoin is absolutely not a Ponzi scheme. Escape the matrix. The people that say Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme obviously don't even understand what a Ponzi scheme is, LOL. Yeah, Bitcoin is, we talked about this last week, Bitcoin is based on public-private key cryptography, which has only been around since 1970 because it is not possible without high-speed computers. So was born of the technology revolution of the 20th century, right? You couldn't do public-private key cryptography back in the 1950s because they just didn't have computers powerful enough to do the calculations, right? We're talking about advanced cryptography here, right? That is what Bitcoin is based on. And we could say that Bitcoin is the killer app for public-private key cryptography. It can be used for other things too, sending encoded messages, right? But Bitcoin uses public-private key cryptography to verify transactions. It is an amazing technology. When people say that Bitcoin is based on nothing, they don't understand what public-private key cryptography is, right? Because it is an amazing, revolutionary branch of mathematics that has only been made possible by high-speed computers and networkable infrastructure, right? The internet, right? High-speed computers and the internet made public-private key cryptography possible, which made Bitcoin possible. All right. Could Bitcoin become standard currency? I don't know if it will or not. A lot of people bash Bitcoin because they say it's not a real currency because it doesn't have a stable value. There are other examples of currencies which don't have stable value, like the Iranian currency. I forget what they call it. Rial, maybe? I'm not sure. The Venezuelan peso or whatever the name of their currency is not doing very well and fluctuates in value. So currencies do fluctuate in value. It's not ideal, right? But that doesn't mean they're not currencies because they fluctuate. But a lot of people attack Bitcoin and they say it can't really be used as a real currency because of it's more of a store of value. People don't want to spend it because they think it's going to go up in value. I tend to disagree with that because I'm pretty quick to sell my Bitcoin if I think I might want to trade it for an up-and-coming coin, all right? Something of that nature. There have been times where I needed money and I cashed out my Bitcoin because I needed money. Back when coronavirus hit, back in March or February of 2020, I was like, dude, I need to go to the grocery store and get like $1,000 worth of supplies, right? So I cashed out some Bitcoin And I went and bought toilet paper and paper towels and bleach and hand sanitizer and food and, you know, SpaghettiOs and all that, you know, and because I felt like it was an emergency, right? So just because Bitcoin, I knew Bitcoin was a long-term hold and was going to go up in value, but I had it and I needed the money, and so I sold some, right? So don't tell me that you can't spend Bitcoin in the real world. You can, right? I cashed out my Bitcoin for US dollars and spent it. I didn't, now the store that I went to didn't accept Bitcoin directly, so I had to, you know, convert it. But as far as I was concerned, I spent it. But there are other cryptocurrencies out there in the ecosystem that do hold a dollar value, like stable coins, right? So if you've made a high profit on one of your coins, then you can cash out to stable coins and hold those coins. And you can use those to buy on dips, or you can spend them in the real world if you need to, right? So just because Bitcoin can't be used as a currency, there are other coins in the cryptocurrency sphere which are well suited for that, right? There's more to life there's more to crypto than just Bitcoin, right? Let me get down here to the bottom. I hate when I miss questions, guys. I really want to try to answer every question. Nano X, Michael, I bought a Nano X and a Nano as a package. I use the Nano S for backup. You can have the same private key on both the X and the S. Yes, you can. I've got a video on that. You can set up your S with, you know, it will give you a 24-word recovery phrase. And then instead of setting up the X as a new device, you restore using the 24-word recovery phrase of the Nano S. And that means they're both mirror images of each other. That's a very common configuration. I've done that myself too. That way, if your go-to device gums up or gets lost or damaged, you've got a backup right there, ready to go. You can just connect it to Ledger Live, send and receive crypto. Ledger Live treats both devices the same, right? It sees them as being the same device, even because they share the same private key. We can talk more about that, right? Where is the crypto store since you can restore? Kimberly Rose. Okay, Kimberly is asking, where is the crypto when you restore it? And I was kind of baffled by this too. And the key here is cryptography, mathematics. When you create a wallet with a, like this, with a master private key, all of the wallets that get generated are done so deterministically, mathematically, which means that from that same master private key, it will always generate the exact same wallets. I know that's kind of weird, but I can erase this device completely so that it's completely empty. And then I can use the 24-word recovery phrase to restore it. And then all I have is the master private key. But then when I install the apps, when I install the Bitcoin app, the Litecoin app, the Ethereum app in my Ledger Live, magically those same wallets that were there before get recreated mathematically, deterministically, right? So the crypto doesn't really go anywhere. It's still on the blockchain in the same addresses that you stored whatever your balances were before you did your wipe and restore. The wipe and restore simply restores the private key, which generates the exact same wallets for your individual cryptos. And when you connect to the blockchain, you are connecting to those exact same balances that you left out there. So I guess that's the answer. Your crypto doesn't really go anywhere. It's just out there on the blockchain, waiting for someone with the private key to access it, right? That's the key. Well, no pun intended. That private key allows you to move that Bitcoin out of that address. No one else can, right? Cryptographically impossible unless they have the private key, which is impossible. That's incorrect. Let's go down a little more. True statements. RT Lowry, thanks for the tip. Ponzi schemes offer some reward. Bitcoin offers nothing. Okay, we all have our opinions. You might be one of the early investors in the Ponzi scheme, right? And so Mr. Ponzi pays out to you, and you cash in big, and all your buddies that you know, that you tell about this great new scheme that invest their money, get burned. But you're okay because you were one of the early guys. So yeah, Ponzi scheme worked out great for you. Unless your buddies find out that, you duped them into investing in this scheme and they lost all their money and you're sitting pretty. You might have some people with pitchforks at your front door. From experience, Bitcoin is done right by me. Bought steadily by Bitcoin over time. And like I mentioned to you guys, there were some times in my life where I needed some quick cash and Bitcoin was there. Right? So, but everybody has their opinion. Coinbase deactivated my account for security investigation after I reached out to customer service with a question. Had some coins there. Apparently, it's their typical practice. Any advice? I get a lot of people that tell me they think Coinbase is a scam because they are locking their account or whatever, and they're upset. It is my opinion that Coinbase is not a scam. It is a well-known cryptocurrency exchange that is U.S.-based. They've got $90 billion worth of assets. I don't think that they created this company and all this infrastructure and all these employees and hold $90 billion worth of assets to dupe you into putting your money in there and then canceling your account. I don't think that's their business model. I think we're going to go to Coinbase anyway. I think Coinbase has to be careful with the way that people use their service. They're regulated, of course. So I think what a lot of people is they sign up for Coinbase and they buy some Bitcoin right away with their debit card or whatever, and then they want to withdraw it right away. Right? I hate to say that, but that looks suspicious. Right? You may be a hodler, you may know what you're doing, but the average Coinbase customer will buy Bitcoin and hold. I'm just saying. Right? So when you just run in there one fine, bright morning and you buy $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and then immediately try to transfer it out, it raises red flags and it looks suspicious. I don't know if that's what you did. I'm just saying that there's a whole continuum of behavior on Coinbase. And the average person that gets on Coinbase buys their Bitcoin and holds it on Coinbase, most likely. They may buy some other stuff, whatever, and they may buy regularly. Like every time they get paid, they might squirrel away a little money for Coinbase to buy some Bitcoin, right? But people that run in there with huge chunks of money and immediately try to withdraw look suspicious. They look like they're either trying to scam Coinbase by doing a flim flam, right? You buy the Bitcoin, you transfer it off, and then you call your bank and you cancel the transaction. A lot of people, that's a scam. I used to work at a computer store. A lot of people do that kind of stuff. They go in, they buy a bunch of computer equipment, they write a check for it. There's money in their bank. When we verify their check, there's money in the bank. And then after they leave and load all that equipment in their van and drive off, they go withdraw all their money out of their bank account and their check bounces, right? Or it's a stolen credit card or whatever, right? So Coinbase is not in the business of scamming people out of their money, but there are things that normal people do that look suspicious, and you may be an innocent person that gets caught up in what seems to be suspicious activity. I'm really sorry that that happened to you, but it's not Coinbase trying to scam you. They're not going to put all this infrastructure in place to scam a guy like me or you out of whatever, couple of thousand, right? I know it's frustrating. But usually, and then a lot of people, they don't follow channels, right? Coinbase is not the kind of person or company that you can pick up the phone and call. It's not like your utility company or the phone company or the plumber down the street, right? Just pick up the phone and scream at them. That's not how Coinbase works. You got to go through their channels. I don't even know that you can send a email to them. Maybe. A lot of people, they search for that support email and send it. They're probably getting thousands of those every day. You're much better off going to Coinbase support and going through the motions of telling them what your problem is, right? People are just, and see here they're telling you, hey, we got a lot of people out here doing this, right? But, go through the motions, explain what it is you're doing, fill out one of their web forms. This is just an article. Let's see here. Account access, right? Accessing my account. They give you some here. No, it's not helpful. Okay, so you need to explain. This is just a survey here, but there are ways that after you've read all these, sometimes if you just read through this, you might find your answer. But people are just impatient. They just want to pick up the phone and scream at somebody. All right? You got to be patient with crypto. All right? Let's buy a little Bitcoin. We're going to go to buy, and we're going to buy some Bitcoin. And there are two ways to buy it, with our bank account or with our debit card. Or we can do a wire transfer. I choose the debit card option because I can withdraw it immediately. Now, I've used Coinbase since 2017. Never had any problems with it, but I started small, and I did a lot of small transactions in the beginning. And I established myself before I tried to move huge chunks of money in and out, right? And over time, my limits started going up, right? It started with the limit was $300. Then it became $1,000. Then it went higher. You could see I've got a $5,000 limit. They start you off small, right? So you have to establish normal patterns of behavior before you start trying to, wheel money in and out of the Coinbase account. Looks suspicious. All right, so there, we just bought some Bitcoin. Now, what are we going to do? How are we going to put this in our wallet, right? Where is it? Where is that dang Bitcoin? Did I just buy some Bitcoin, or did I not just buy some Bitcoin? And why isn't it not going to home? Okay. So I just bought some Bitcoin. Okay, there it is. All right, so we got some Bitcoin in our Bitcoin portfolio. They call it portfolio. It's kind of like a wallet, but it's their Bitcoin, right? It is not my Bitcoin until I move it into my own wallet. As long as it's sitting on Coinbase, they're holding it for me. But what if Coinbase goes down? What if I can't get access to Coinbase? What if they get hacked? They probably won't. What if the government shuts them down? What if the IRS seizes my account and I can't get a hold of my Bitcoin? Because, Coinbase isn't going to talk back to the IRS. Right? There are a lot of things that could happen to Bitcoin when someone else is holding it for you. Right? You want to put it in your own wallet. So let's go back to that nifty little wallet that I created that is receive only. Let's receive some more Bitcoin in there. now I'm revealing this Bitcoin address to Coinbase. I could be sly about it, right? I could like move the Bitcoin into one of my other wallets first, and then transfer it to this wallet. But there is a chain of custody, so you're not really fooling anyone by doing that. But it would make it slightly harder. But I'm not really worried about Coinbase. And there, I've just copied the address of my own wallet into my clipboard. Let's go back here. I'm going to send it all to myself. I'm going to paste that address in the to field. I'm going to hit continue. They're going to charge me a small network fee. I think that's equivalent to the Bitcoin blockchain fee. Sending is irreversible. Cannot take it back. And then we've got our Bitcoin. I need my two-factor authentication. All right, that's my Google Authenticator. We'll hit continue. And it's off. On its way to my wallet. And we'll just keep an eye on the wallet. And hopefully it'll come in pretty soon, right? Now, I would like to mention to you guys, I'm all about security, so I just wanted to bring this up here, is that I opted for this Google Titan security key from Google. And the reason why is I had a little issue with my CryptoDad email. I use Google Authenticator to protect my email account. And basically this means that someone trying to log into my account remotely from a different device needs to provide the Google Authenticator code, which means they need my phone. So it's a second factor of authentication. But there are ways to sort of get around that. And you can attempt to log into the account and say, oh, I forgot my password. And then it asks you for your Google Authenticator code. And then there's another link that says try another way. And when you do that, it'll say, oh, how about I send you a text, or how about I send you a code to your recovery email, or whatever. But I was getting I've occasional alerts saying that someone was trying to log into my Gmail account from Warsaw, Poland. And I kept saying, no, that was not me. And that didn't really concern me that much. But then one day they tried like 3 times within an hour. And I'm like, dude, somebody has got like their sight set on trying to log into my Gmail account, take control of my Gmail account. Why is that a security risk? Well, because if someone gains access to your email, then they can attempt to log in to your bank account, your cryptocurrency account, with that email and say, oh, I forgot my password. And most of these companies will send the recovery or password reset to the original email. So anyone that can gain access to your email account has got a leg up, or has like cracked the door to pretty much your entire digital life, right? So you do not want anyone getting access to your email account at all, Gmail or otherwise, right? So anyway, this person kept trying to log into my account, or persons, or the NSA, or whoever it was, the Russians, the Chinese, the Ukrainians, the Polish. They're trying to get into my Gmail account. I have a lot of cryptocurrency accounts tied to that Gmail account. And my YouTube channel is all tied to that. So I opted for this thing, which is a hardware-based solution that you can order from Google, right? And then you can enter the Advanced Protection Program. And when you enter the Advanced Protection Program, basically register these 2 devices. There's 2. There's a primary and a secondary. You register those 2 devices on your account, and then after you've registered both of those devices, it logs you out of every device that you own. And then you have to use these devices, hardware devices, to get back into your Gmail account. And I managed to do that on both browsers and my phone. So now anybody that tries to log in from Poland or the Ukraine or Peoria, Illinois, will not be able to get in no matter what, right? Google will just shut them down because I've this advanced protection. So if you are high profile, I would recommend doing this to protect your Gmail account, because more and more your Gmail is the key to your digital identity. I mean, just imagine all of the things that are connected to your Gmail account. I don't have everything connected to my CryptoDad Gmail, but I do have a personal Gmail as well, a different one. But Google Maps, your YouTube channel, I mean, there's so much information that a person can find out about you if they manage to crack into your accounts. And they use password crackers. They do all kinds of weird stuff to gain access to your email. I mean, I had my Yahoo account hacked like 2 or 3 times. Gmail seems to be a bit more secure. But that is your first line of defense, is your Gmail, your email, whatever your email is, be it Hotmail or Yahoo or whatever. You've got to keep those email accounts secure as possible. Please. Deep State Biden. It could have been Biden. Old Joe was trying to get into my CryptoDad email. He's jealous. That's what it is. Right? He wants to be young and hip like me, 57-year-old guy doing crypto. Why not Joe too? I feel insecure. Don't feel insecure. Okay. You don't have to go this route because I'm high profile. I have a YouTube channel. I do a lot of videos. That email is revealed in a lot of my videos. So it's a target. If you just have a reasonable amount of security, I would recommend Google Authenticator. It's the best way to go, right? Set up a Google Authenticator and then tie that code to your Gmail and tie that code to your cryptocurrency accounts and have that 2-factor authentication set up. And then you will be in. William J. How are you, William? William J. May. Good to have you here tonight, William. Is there an exchange left to buy XRP? Also, when you get a chance, can you call me? Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Happy New Year. I don't know about XRP. I never was a big fan of XRP. I'm sure you could get it somewhere, right? Maybe CoinGecko. Go to CoinGecko. I mean, it's still, well, it's number 5 now. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Polkadot took over. Markets. Upbit, BitTrue, Binance, eToro X, Bitfinex, HitBTC, Hobby Global, Kraken. You can still buy it. Oh, well, Kraken is gonna delist it soon. So if you want to buy it, get while the getting's good, or you want to sell it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's the U.S. SEC that's suing them, not the foreign exchanges. So if you want to buy it, you can still buy it. You might need to do a VPN for some of these, right? Because some of these places, like Binance, will block U.S. users. But you can still trade XRP on Binance if you want to. I don't want to, but you want to. We wanted to talk a little bit about NFTs tonight. So what is an NFT? Let me see where I am here. Yeah. So how do you get a hold of these NFTs anyway? That's what I want to know, right? So if I want to buy an NFT, what do I do? Well, I'm working on a video. I haven't posted it yet. But you can go to the Engine Marketplace. And you can buy NFTs on the Engine Marketplace. Now, it doesn't have an interface with MetaMask, which I think would be cool, but it doesn't. But it does have an app that you can use called the Engine Coin app, or Engine Wallet, right? So when you go into this wallet, right, you're going to need to fund the wallet. You download the wallet. You set up the wallet. It's going to give you a recovery phrase. It is a non-custodial wallet. It's an Ethereum-based wallet, right? You put a little bit of Ethereum in there. You can see I got a little bit in there. I think I put like $50 worth of Ethereum in there. And then I put some Engine Coin in there. And then I was able to use the Engine Coin to buy one of these NFTs. And how does that work? Well, actually, you can sort of do it from your phone. You can actually go to the marketplace on your phone and do it that way if you want. Right? But like, let's say you hit buy here. They're going to give you this QR code, right? And then, whoops. Oh, I'm going to show you the phone here. Let's see. Okay. You go over here and you put scan QR code, right? And then you scan that code in there, and you are able to purchase with your Engine Coin, right? When you purchase asset. I'm not going to do that, but I could, right? But this wallet, I've discovered, is pretty slow and overloaded, right? Takes a lot of patience to do something like this. But I did manage to buy an NFT. It took like a week. It was the weirdest thing. I had tried it a couple of times, and it was like, it just never completed the transaction. And then I was moving some Engine out of the wallet into a different wallet because I had put a lot of Engine in there. I didn't really need it all in there. So I was moving the Engine out, and then all of a sudden I hear this bloop, and this thing came through, right? So I have this asset, and it's called the Bitcoin key, which I thought was kind of cool. I forget how much it costs. 199 Engine, which at the time, what is this? Oh, Monero. All right. That's not what I want to do. I just want to do this. There we go. I had the Monero wallet open. Oops. Okay. So there's my trusty, shiny NFT. It's kind of a shame that I can only look at it on my phone, which I find a little odd, right? So I own this thing. It's digital of a series. I bought it with my Engine Coin. And I guess at some point I could sell it as is, right? I could sell this Bitcoin key to somebody else that might be willing to pay a higher price. I guess it's like $82, right? Probably a lot more than any one of you guys would really want to spend on something so esoteric. But as you saw earlier, I had that article about someone paying $750,000 in Ethereum for this thing, whatever that was. Yeah. I mean, come on. 750 grand for that? I don't know. It's a digital collectible, right? Ultra rare alien CryptoPunk NFT. Right? But cool. Right? Cool stuff. And then another way that you can interact with NFTs is, let me get rid of this. All right, I'm going to open my MetaMask wallet, and I'm going to switch it over to the Ethereum, mainnet. I'm going to go over to, I have multiple wallets here. I'm going to go to this wallet. It's got a little bit of Ethereum in it. Now I'm going to connect to Rarible. If I can find it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to connect my wallet. See, notice that this website allows me to connect to my MetaMask wallet so that I can buy and sell out of the MetaMask wallet. So, and as you can see, I haven't interacted too much here. I do, I have, okay, here we go. I have created a page with some collectibles on it. I didn't make these. Someone else did, but gave them to me. I don't know, hoping that maybe I might sell them. And then I uploaded some thumbnails for some of my early YouTube videos. So you can upload pretty much anything digital. These aren't that unique. I sort of just did this to see. I don't know why this is blurry either. But let's say you wanted to buy something. See how this one like moves? That's pretty cool, right? And then you've got these over here that are like, they're more than just like static. They're moving. You know, they have some movement to them. And then there are some that even have more built-in features besides just being like an animated GIF, right? There are some NFTs that actually change over time based on, you know, the date, or there was that one Ethereum NFT that was like VTROC that like actually would change based on the price of Ethereum, that kind of stuff. Or I mean, we're talking about a new age of digital. I was reading an article earlier about they were interviewing an NFT who was like, it was kind of a fun article about that. He was giving the interview as the NFT, as if the NFT was alive. Like it was like you were interviewing Pikachu or whatever, and Pikachu was talking and whatever. And but the notion came up that this digital thing had life. Can you imagine if there was a non-fungible token that had some kind of sentient? It was a sentient being, like it was an AI of some kind, like sea monkey, one of those things we used to buy when we were kids. You know, you dump them in the water and they'd like, they're real. So can you imagine like a living, breathing NFT encased in a blockchain? I mean, the possibilities are mind-boggling, right? We're in a new paradigm, right? So, and all of these are blockchain based on, and this is where Bitcoin started, but this is way beyond Bitcoin. Is that Bernie? Is that Bernie? He's even here. Right? There's the supercharger burr. Oh, I wanted to share this picture with you guys all earlier too, if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. It's a pretty good picture, right? It's all the central bankers bashing Bitcoin while they're flooding the economy with, you know, fiat and debt. That's a pretty cool little cartoon. Okay, guys, I think I talked long enough. I was going to do a couple other things. I was going to go on Kraken. Maybe I'll save that for next week. You can buy DOT on Kraken. I think we bought DOT last week on Crypto.com. So someone was asking me about DOT earlier. Where can you buy DOT? And you can buy it on Crypto.com. So if you're hot for DOT, then just get yourself a Crypto.com account. the center here. All right, we can go to crypto.com. Whoops. We can trade and buy. And there it is. DOT. I can buy DOT with my Visa or debit card, or using my fiat wallet. If I had a balance in my fiat wallet, I could buy DOT here on crypto.com and then store it in my own wallet. I showed you guys how to store DOT in a trust wallet last week, but I also have a video on storing DOT on a ledger-based wallet, but not in Ledger Live, like Ledger private key interacting with the Polkadot JSON website, right? There are a lot of cryptocurrencies that aren't supported in Ledger Live that are still compatible with the Ledger device, where you can store your private keys on the Ledger device, like Cardano, right? We talked about Cardano Daedalus wallet last week, right? We are now able to pair our Ledger Nano with a Daedalus wallet and stake. I think I staked for you guys last week, or maybe a few days after the live stream. It's not completely earning rewards yet, right? I think it takes like 6 days, 20 hours. It takes like a week, right? So I think I didn't actually do it until the day after the live stream. So it's probably going to be maybe next week. I'll show you that I'm actually earning rewards by staking the Cardano that is held on my Ledger Nano X, right? But I cannot see Cardano in Ledger Live. It just does not support Ledger. It doesn't support Cardano. Ledger Live doesn't support Monero, doesn't support DOT, but you can store your private keys on your Ledger device, right? The Ledger device is really cool. Ledger Live supports a lot of cryptocurrencies, but it's not perfect, right? It's not a great portfolio tracker either. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop using my Ledger because I can't track my portfolio in Ledger Live. Oh, it takes 15 days for the Cardano to actually stake. So maybe not next week, man. Maybe, but it will eventually, and I'll be earning rewards on it. And I think Cardano staking is one of the great things about Cardano, right? And that's just the beginning, right? Once it evolves to, support smart contracts and host coins and that sort of thing, it's going to be a contender, right? So if you want my advice, not on how to make a quick buck, but how to get your hands, on some of these top coins, right? The conservative plays, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with looking for those up and coming low cap coins to make your quick buck or your moonshot or whatever, but nothing wrong with socking money away in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, and Cardano. I'm not that crazy about XRP. Chainlink's another one up and coming, set number 7 now. A lot of great things happening in the crypto world, guys. Investment in your future. I'm not here to help you make a quick buck, but I would like to help you learn to deal with this breaking new technology for sharing value across the world or across the room with equal ease. All right? New paradigm, decentralized currency. What was that picture I was showing you guys? Right? Screw these guys. Who needs these guys? Right? These guys aren't doing me any favors. Right? The key, I believe, to making our way in this modern world is decentralized. Right? The centralized people, these elites, are not doing us any favors. But we, as a human race, can survive in a decentralized ecosystem where we all have equal value, right? We can be our own bank, our own insurance company. We can be our own lender, borrower, all on the blockchain, right? We can save money. We can spend money. It's the future. So get involved. And the easiest way to get involved is to purchase a little crypto and learn how to store it in your own wallet. So check out my YouTube channel. Come back next week for the live stream. I'm always going to move a little crypto around to get you get your feet wet, right? The key to crypto is learning how to move it around and manage it. Manage it with your own wallet. Keep your private keys safe. Keep your wallet secure. Keep your emails secure. And go decentralized, baby. That's the way. Decentralized Mob was taken off too. Now listed on Coinbase. Cool. Is it possible to move BTC to Ledger using Binance Chain to have a lower fee? Yes and no. I don't know that the fees are lower. Possible to move BTC to Ledger using Binance Chain. Depends on where the BTC is starting, but there are more and more ways, and I think I've done a few of them, where I showed you how to use the Binance bridge. Now, this may not be what you're asking me about, and I can't use it in the US. It doesn't like me. It tells me I'm in the US. But Binance Bridge is a way to convert cryptos along different blockchains. Okay, don't use Hotbit. Okay. I don't know that much about Hotbit, right? But stick with, if you're in the US, probably you want to stick with the US based, like Kraken, Gemini, Binance US, Coinbase, Bittrex, But you can take your BTC from your BTC network and convert it over to Binance Smart Chain. But I'm not sure what your situation is. You're trying to move it from, say, Binance into the ledger with lower fees by somehow using the Binance Smart Chain. I think you're going to get a fee when you withdraw it from your Binance exchange to the Binance Smart Chain, right? Because you could do that. Let's say we're doing it from Binance Chain. That's BEP2, right? This is the regular Binance Chain. You could withdraw Bitcoin over to the BTC network. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just easier to withdraw it directly from Binance to your Ledger wallet. But if you're using Binance Smart Chain and you want to buy Bitcoin over there, decentralized, you can buy Binance pegged Bitcoin on the Binance Smart Chain decentralized exchanges. And then you can convert it to regular Bitcoin and put it in your ledger. Right? That's possible. Like you could, so let's say you've got a Binance Smart Chain wallet, right? Like your MetaMask wallet, right? You've got it linked to the Pancake Swap. You could buy some Binance pegged Bitcoin, right? And you could do this on the Binance Smart Chain, right? You could buy this Binance pegged Bitcoin using BNB or whatever you've got over here, right? And then with a VPN, you could convert it from Binance Smart Chain based BTC to regular BTC. And here you say, okay, I'm going to do 0.005, and then you have to connect your MetaMask wallet, your Binance Smart Chain MetaMask wallet, and then you would click next and you would give it the address of your ledger. So yes, you could do that if that's what the question was. Have you made more in crypto than normal investments? I'm not really an investor, really. I just kind of got involved in crypto, started doing this YouTube channel, and have bought and socked away crypto. That's what I save. I'm a Bitcoin, or I'm a crypto saver, not really an investor. I mean, it has grown in value since I got it, but I'm not like a trader kind of guy, and I don't buy and sell stocks or anything else like that. I got burned on stocks back in the late 90s, and I decided that the big boys controlled the stock market. It's the big traders that are making the real money, and the little retail guy is getting screwed. When he puts his order through, it takes 5 minutes to clear, and by that time the price has fluctuated and you get screwed. And I said screw the stock market, right? Okay, guys, I know the questions always seem to come in hard and fast when I'm wrapping this up, but I got to stop at some point. And I really appreciate everybody being here, and I hope you guys will come back next week. If I missed your question, just throw them down in the comments or send me an email, the CryptoDad@gmail.com. Shoot me an email or throw me a comment down there. Sorry if I missed your question during the live stream. I got a lot to talk about, and sometimes I don't see everything's going by on that screen. I always see it the next day, and I'm like, I wish I could reply to you, but I can't unless you leave a comment or send me an email, because I can't go back the next day and reply to your live stream comments, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I can't. Don't forget, we do this every week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my very, very best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.